Man, this music is so weird. And also, we're back for Formula 1. And more fish catching. Yeah, fish catching. How many? We have 844 more fishes to collect. So we are up 1,856 in the collection. Uh, 1,856 slash 2,700. So 44. 144 more fishes collected, and then we are above 2,000. Or we're not above, we will be at 2,000. And then just 700 left. Nice. And hopefully the British Grand Prix will not end like Austria ended. It will maybe have the same stakes, but stake F1 Team Kickstarter. The only stakes that will be fun, good, and not at all depressing, like stake F1 Team Kickstarter's pit stops in the beginning. But yeah, hopefully it will be a fight between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen, and hopefully Oscar Piastri will not have a bad qualifying, so he can be up there with Lando Norris and Max Verstappen, but he will probably just finish P3 if they don't do a crash, or like crash into each other, and then he can be and win for him. Wouldn't that be amazing? First win for Oscar Piastri. And yeah, what more can happen? And hopefully Ferrari will actually be good. It sounds like they will have some upgrades for that race, so hopefully that will do something. James Wows had maybe some great things for Silverstone, or maybe he just talked more about last season's race that was really good for him. First fish for the collection, not for today. His first fish for the collection this stream, I would say, if we want to be correct and not make a false statement. And Fernando Alonso, I've already said that Aston Martin will be bad in Silverstone also. So probably with maybe 100% accuracy, Aston Martin will be bad in Silverstone also, like they were in Austria. So points can be taken, right? I mean, let's see, if we go to can Bahrain be a good? Yeah, Bahrain. And let's see, Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren, Aston Martin. Oh my god. When McLaren was behind that can't you maybe have seen? That Landooooo and Oscar Piastri will be a team that are better than Mercedes when this is the start of the 2024 season. But either way, here we have Aston Martin is no longer here. Visa Cash App RB Formula 1 team can maybe take this place. Maybe Alpine. I hope Williams will at least take some points. But yeah, as long as the Martin, Visa Cash App RB Formula 1 team or Alpine doesn't succeed to be here, hopefully Williams will be. And not Haas. They don't really need any more points. Now just look at this. Fucking 19 points. Give some points to Williams. And maybe Alpine. First Williams, then Alpine, then Visa Cash App RB Formula 1 team. Then can the Stake F1 team kick Sauber get points. Last will have hopefully Haas get points. Oh shit, we're not time for that video yet. But yeah, well, I can mention P1's yeah, what the fuck is called? Our prediction. Okay, their predictions on the Grand Prix. Then we have Formula. Let's see if we can make this. And the F1 world. Do we have of the P1? Then I don't know if I will, but it could happen. Listen to the F1 Nation podcast for Austria Grand Prix. Don't know if that will happen, but it could happen. Just to make me know if Tom Clarkson give, probably not, but he could maybe give some not washed opinion from the race. He will probably do that, but sometimes you are maybe lucky. But yeah, hopefully Alex Albon can get a P9 and then Gasly can get a P10. So 1 more point for Alpine and 2 points for Alex Albon. Oh yeah! You remember something? I saw something about Oliver Bearman. Let's see, if I go to it should be latest maybe. It should be. Yeah, no, this one. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't promoted. Proven partner British Sign. Okay, here started. Opted to sign Oliver Berman. So here it actually says sign. I mean, promoted is well maybe another word for signing, but yeah, Oliver Berman is now 100% in the car. Who will partner British youngster for 2025? Apparently not Kevin Magnussen. I mean, I never believed Kevin Magnussen will be the one guy that will be partner with Oliver Berman. Because instead of giving him a race ban, he will be every season after this one banned for Kevin Magnussen, because he will not be in Formula 1 after that. So yeah, Oliver Berman in Haas. Yeah, didn't he? Or was it the sprint race he won? Formula 2, where do we have Oliver Berman? There we have it. I believe he won a race. Or a sprint race. Apparently not. No, this is weird. Didn't he win? Let's find this up. Oliver Berman. Okay. Let's see. Berman holds off Marty to take a victory in Speedway sprint race. Yeah, F2 in Austria. Is winning a sprint race actually 10 points? Maybe it is. Okay, then yeah, here we have it then. The sprint race winner. So I wasn't. So I didn't misremember stuff, because I remember so clearly that he won something in Formula 2. Well, sadly for his F2 season, it was a sprint race win. Only time when he could maybe have won a race. He was driving for the Ferrari in Formula 1. Maybe getting points is more interesting than a win. Maybe not. But if you could choose, you would probably choose them, both of them. Oh, one more fish for the collection. Glitter cyan. Did something more happen in Formula? The Formula. Yeah, what can you call it? I've not seen anything about Williams or color signing. Hopefully we'll see maybe what Andrew New will be doing the next season. If we still will be in Formula 1 or will not be in Formula 1. So yeah. So let's start with the first video. Our prediction for the 2024 British Grand Prix. Let's see what the prediction is. Hopefully nothing mean stuff about Sir Perez.
Our
predictions
for
the
2024
British
Grand
Prix.
Man, they should really...
It's British Grand Prix week! It's Silverstone!
I don't know if they try to do it bad, or they actually just do it so badly so you think they are pretending to be that bad. I mean, for these guys, it were probably trying to do it really good, but it ends up being really bad.
It's me and Tommy seeing it in real life! Cannot wait. I'm absolutely buzzing. Thomas James Bellingham, you're wearing your England football shirt, which I'm not sure, is that to
Just because it's the British Grand Prix, why not?
They are playing, I suppose, aren't they, England?
Oh shit, yeah, quite. Clayfish, no, not Clayfish, is the flopper, white flopper. No, flopper, white, light grey. That was somewhat depressing.
As well, on the Sunday or Saturday. Either or, who cares about football? We're here for Formula 1 and it's a sprint weekend.
True,
no, it's not.
Football.
No, it's not the sprint weekend. It is a normal weekend. Tommy, any other sort of minds in this sheet that you want to just prepare me for?
Hang on, let me add this.
They're racing the track backwards this year.
There we go.
Okay, and if I write stuff, does that mean I also... Charles Leclerc will win everything. Perfect. Right, Tommy, how excited are you for the fact we're going to be on the main stage on Sunday at 11 a.m. and we need every single one of you that's coming to the British Grand Prix to come and say hello to us and watch and all that sort of stuff.
Indeed. Last year was unbelievable. Genuinely one of the greatest moments of my life. Like, I cannot believe that happened.
Not meeting me. Right, let's get into biggest good surprise.
Thanks for that alert. Yeah,
there's a fan base that ain't gonna like me this week. McLaren! Yes.
Biggest surprise? What do you mean biggest surprise?
I think for the first time, I'm going for a team. I'm going for double points. I am... Let's see if I put all my eggs in one basket. But McLaren were amazing last year at Silverstone. They didn't even have the form that they're having now in Formula 1. So I think something very lovely is coming in the form of McLaren this weekend.
It could.
Interesting, because this is a race that everyone will say McLaren are going to be good at. So we'll get into it when it happens and we find out. Let's see what happens. Biggest good surprise. I've gone for a completely rogue random choice this week, and it is Valtteri Bottas.
Oh my...
no.
God, that's mad that you've gone for that, because I was literally like... Because I was so close to putting Bottas as my
biggest good surprise for me is Alex Albon. He will get points.
Really?
Surprise. I don't know why.
I don't know
why. It's not even a low grip track. But I just think that Bottas is going to turn up and finish a solid P13. We're all going to go, congratulations, Bottas.
Yeah, mine's kind of opposite to yours, where like your biggest good surprise, they have to finish really high because the expectation is very high. And Bottas in the neon wheelie bin has to basically finish 15th for it to be a good surprise now. So anything is a good surprise in that stake now. So
certainly is. Okay.
Please don't scroll. Listen.
And here we have what I would call a scam ad. Let's hear it out.
My name is Hiba from Gaza, and I'm supposed to be studying for my medical school final exams these days. But rather than that, I'm sitting here in Landooooo shelter, wondering if me and my family will still alive. Please don't leave us alone. We have a lot of concerns regarding our present or our future. Even little donation can save our lives.
True.
To you, Mansour, you came back, I think, from Gaza.
There are thousands of trucks available on the Rafah border. They can easily solve it by ceasefire and all these trucks entering.
Yeah, true.
There is enough food. It's sitting at the Rafah border. Thousands of trucks. Just lift the siege of Gaza and this can be solved in a minute.
Mansour Schumann, a Canadian citizen journalist. He is one of the few voices that's been offering the world a glimpse inside Gaza.
Don't believe it, but yeah, true. 100%
Getting
agree.
humanitarian aid assistance to the innocent civilians of Gaza. We need to help them sustain, we need to give them prospects. And it's not an easy task, but it's something where we cannot fail.
True. Two minute and 30 seconds scam ad.
We will not be silent while our money is used to murder people, innocent people. We will use every last bit of our breath to fight back so that our brothers and sisters are not slaughtered in silence.
Well, they aren't. I mean, I look at the many countries that...
Sitter du bara hemma och
Man. Okay, back to normal ads. That doesn't support Israel. So yeah, we can go back because we can skip the ad now.
Hey, interesting. We both had a feeling about Bottas. Biggest flop.
Lewis Hamilton. He's the flopping champion. Do we have any good flopping fish? Good flopping Lewis Hamilton. Pink light? No, we don't. Oh, white light grey. Look like the white flopper, but it's the white Lewis Hamilton flopper.
Okay, he's off the back of a very good weekend, so it's Kevin Magnussen. He's gonna have a bad weekend. He's going to go back to the old K-Mag after a 9 out of 10 that I gave him in driver ratings. I feel as though he'll take that on board and go, right, well, I can drive freely now again. And I don't know. Just vibes, in it? Just biggest flop vibes, which has been very, very profitable for me this year. And K-Mag, he's off the back of a great result, which means just a little, little wheel bang, and I'm game on.
Biggest flop?
Lewis Hamilton.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. It is. I could see your eyes. Is it what I think it is?
Maybe. No. Maybe. No. I don't think it is.
Well, you know, there's only one driver that would react like that to.
Oh,
so.
okay. No, it's not.
Actually, no, please, because your flop's useless.
Well, this is maybe what I'm going for here. I've gone for Lando Norris, and that is because I think the expectation is absolutely insane this weekend. He has basically in my opinion, had a race-winning car for the last, goodness knows how many races now.
And now will be
there
flopping.
is so much hype around McLaren. The pressure will be so on Lando. I hope he can deliver. You know, this for the record, we say it so many times. This is not what we want to happen. It's just a prediction. So calm down.
Salty Max fan wants Lando to be biggest flop at British
Let's
Grand
spin
Prix.
it that way.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. No, that's
I did
the
enjoy
headline.
getting called British bias when I was wearing a Netherlands shirt in those social clips.
Our two favourite drivers both not being British as well.
Yeah,
crazy,
exactly. I feel like it goes one of two ways, where there is another drama bomb like the last race, or they are absolutely rapid.
We move on now to pole position. Lando Norris. So forget your biggest flop.
Ooh, pole position. Lando Norris. Nah, make it more fun. Max Verstappen will be pole position.
I think it's going to be a pole position for Lando Norris. I think that McLaren will be the fastest car around here. And we speak of expectation, we speak of pressure.
He will make maybe a mistake again, and it will not be a good lap. So he will not get the pole.
Lando is a Formula 1 driver. He's got it. I think he really enjoys it now. I think he's in the part of his career where I don't think he'll fold like perhaps he might have done in his first couple of seasons, where he was a little bit more tentative. No, I think Lando will deliver. He'll get pole position, and then even more expectation for the race.
So pole position, I have gone for Oscar Piastri. I feel like he's building some good momentum. I do think McLaren will be quick here. And yeah, I think it will be a close run thing, but if it's going to happen for Oscar anywhere like qualifying, he is rapid and was very good last year as well, has to be said. So yeah, gone for Oscar, and Frank agrees.
Is a big fan of that Oscar Piastri prediction. Let's go to our top three and start in third position. Max Verstappen will finish third at the British Grand Prix. Yeah, it's happening. Maybe you can think about what would be second and first to make it a full clean house sweep for points, but it's Max Verstappen P3.
Blimey. I've gone for Oscar Piastri P3.
Yeah, true.
Do I need to justify that McLaren are very quick?
Pole to P3.
Yes. Which in your head go, oh, that's a bit harsh, but also Oscar Piastri and tyres are a bit of a struggle for him, aren't they? So, oh, come on, Frank.
Frank is a very loud man today.
We have decided to record like all our podcasts and things during post-delivery time, and Frank is not a happy boy about it.
No, he's not.
Yes, so Oscar Piastri. Do you think McLaren will be rapid? But we have seen that trend with Oscar, that maybe he can struggle a little bit more in the races than his rapid pace, but I will admit, actually, I nearly went for Oscar first and bottled it, but
your brain kicked in.
Yeah, my brain kicked in.
Fair enough. Okay, let's go to second place. Oscar Piastri is second at the British Grand Prix. He'll get that podium that he was so close to getting last year around this circuit. It's going to be second place for Oscar. McLaren, they're going to be lit. They're going to be good. They're going to be great. They're going to be biggest, good, surprising.
P2.
Probably not.
I've gone for...
Oh, he's changing on the fly. He's changing on the fly. Is he spreading his eggs?
Yes, I am going to spread my eggs and go Lando Norris.
That's
P2.
crazy. What a bottle job. Biggest flopped him and then put him second. That is
You've done
wild.
That before.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
This is how we roll. We need to keep it close. There is part of me that thinks Lando and the pressure and the expectation. If he won, oh my God, the vibes would be unreal. Because last year at Silverstone, when he took the lead, was goosebumps.
Oh, that will probably happen. He will take the lead, look like he will 100% win the race, and then Max Verstappen still win the race.
Yeah, if Lando won, it would be absolutely incredible. But I am locking in the P2 for Lando.
Okay. In first position,
Max Verstappen.
Lando Norris. It's a McLaren 1-2. Everyone will love that. everybody,
but it
all
will
the
not
British
happen.
biased people at Silverstone will love that. But yes, I'm sorry, McLaren fans, if you double DNF. I really am. But it's Lando Norris P1.
P1.
Max Verstappen.
Biased Brit. I have gone for Max Verstappen.
Boo. Dutch bias.
I know, Dutch bias here. I do think Max, he's gonna have a great weekend. I think last year I flopped him. I think because it felt like the British crowd. There's no doubt the British crowd will be on him this weekend. I think it's unfair to
and that's just fueling him.
Yeah,
let's be real.
But it will fuel him. Like he won't care. And with a non-sprint weekend, I wonder, Max is so good at fine-tuning that car. With 3 practice sessions, we'll see what the weather's doing, because it's changing a lot, actually, it has to be said.
Literally says between 11 a.m. till the rest of the day, there's a chance of rain right now. God damn it.
Fernando Alonso, P1.
That's it. Right, we go to one crazy prediction then. And mine is McLaren 1-2. It's a McLaren 1-2, yeah. It's
Matt
McLaren
has
1-2.
1 papaya basket, and all 50 papaya eggs are in that basket.
Yeah, I'm either coming home with about 15 points or none. And now that I've looked at the weather, I really want to change everything that I've put down here. But I'm not going to, because I'm locked in. And the weather will change another 100 times before then. But right now, there's some rain in the air. But it's a McLaren 1-2, which is a crazy prediction.
I have gone for the craziest of crazy predictions, and I'll explain why afterwards. Well, you could explain why afterwards, because you'll know why it's crazy. I've gone for double Alpine points. And people are going, why is that crazy? Well, we're actually going to be speaking to both drivers before the weekend, and we all know what happens when we speak to racing drivers. But I am saying that they break the curse, and everyone will think, oh, you've interviewed Ocon and Gasly, that's going to go wrong. No. Double Alpine points.
Everyone, says that, but then they forget when Carlos Sainz became Ayrton Senna for about 3 races after we spoke to him. So
maybe it's maybe Alpine 1-2. You never know.
Let's go to your 3 crazy predictions then. First and foremost, Huisman 2006. Williams get a top 10 finish.
Yes.
Dan_Duffy 27. Joe makes it into Q2. Is that crazy though? Because I'm pretty sure, he entered. No, actually, that's very crazy. And then Kieran.F321, Logan Sargent points. My God.
Oh, that is crazy.
We are fully backing Williams right now in the crazy predictions from you wonderful lot. So interesting. Tommy, we have come to the end of our predictions. What are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts, super generic and boring, but it has to be said that I'm absolutely buzzing for the British Grand Prix as always, because we get to essentially go see Formula 1 cars, which was always amazing. Meet all you wonderful people. The support we had on the main stage last year was something that I'll never forget. Even though it's happened once, I'm still expecting 3 people to turn up. So please turn up.
We've got some merch. We'll have T-shirt cannons. We're going to do some fun things where one of you will come up on stage to challenge Tommy, which will be very, very exciting. And there's cool prizes for that person as well.
For the British fans,
yes, I'm exactly the same as you, Tommy. And can't wait. It's going to be amazing. And if you do see us, come and say hello. We love to speak to all of you. You literally allow us to do our dream job. So the least we can do is give some of our time to chat to some of you. And there is Frank giving some final thoughts as well. Frank, anything to add?
No.
Yawn if McLaren will win the British Grand Prix.
Oh, I thought he was going to as well.
I was going for it.
I thought I was going to.
No.
Frank, yawn if Charles will have a really bad weekend. Yes. Frank, yawn if Logan Sargent will win the British Grand Prix.
One more fish for the collection.
No, he's just dialed in. He's really dialed in. Okay, that's it. Audio listeners are like, did he yawn? Did he not? No, he didn't yawn. Now he's yawning. Charles Leclerc's going to win the British Grand Prix. Yawn.
No, the last one was definitely Logan Sargent. Logie Bear.
No, he didn't really yawn either. No, okay, bye everyone.
He's lost the faith in Logie, unfortunately.
That's sad. I wonder why. Bye.
13:37. Great time. Okay, go away now. Yeah. Okay, we need to do some counting. Probably not. It's usually the same numbers. 18, 20, 22, 24 plus 6 is 30 plus even more 6 is 36 plus 4 is 40. So 1896 plus 40. And it's time to do the fun stuff. And while we do this, we can do the where do we have it? The let's see. Do we have any? Man, this lava made me think the fuck I'm hearing. Do I really hear lava here? Let's see. Do they have any? No, still not. Okay, we go back. Where do we have it? There we have it. The F1 World, the 2024 British Grand Prix preview and prediction. So let's see what his prediction is.
Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the preview for the 2024 British Grand Prix, the final race of this triple header. And what a first two races of the triple header we've had. Hopefully this weekend will be just as good.
But they're just as good. What? You mean the other race was good? It was good if Lance Stroll, if Lando Norris won the race, or at least could finish the race, but he didn't. And hopefully he can at least finish the race in Silverstone.
Week, I'm just going to jump straight into it, starting as always with a look at the track and all the usual stats, news and predictions that follow. So last time out, F1 was in Austria, where George Russell kept himself out of trouble to take the win after the lead two collided, as I'm sure you remember. But this weekend it is on to Silverstone for the 12th round, and the race will mark the halfway stage of the season. Yes, it really is that time of year already. A lap of the famous Silverstone circuit is 5.891 kilometres long. If you work in miles, that is 3.66, and is made up of 18 corners with 52 laps scheduled for Sunday's race. And the race lap record is held by Max Verstappen, who posted a 1:27.097 back in 2020. There will be 2 DRS zones this weekend to help the drivers with their overtaking. The first zone runs down the Wellington Straight between turns 5 and 6. And the final zone is down the Hangar Straight between turns 14 and 15. It is also worth noting that perhaps predictably, each zone has its own detection point, and they come before turn 3 and turn 11 respectively. It's not the easiest track to overtake on though, and so those zones will come in very handy. We do tend to see some great side-by-side action through turn 6 and 7 and actually into turn 3 as well. So I am very much looking forward to that. It's another one of those...
God damn it, -3 already. 1893 -3. No 100% colored fishes for the collection. Blockfish black. Blockfish light gray. There we are. Okay, you will go away. You will be placed there. Clay fish. Oh wait, white. brown. And then we have the glitter fish. Cyan. Glitter cyan. Nope. No, in the what's it called? The second copied fishes. Whatever. The place what I placed the copied fish from my collection. Yeah, continue with the Silverstone.
Those tracks, it's great to watch F1 cars on, especially through that super fast Maggots and Beckett's complex. Just a shame I can't be there this year. I always like to get sat in that grandstand. But anyway, it will come as no great surprise to hear that Max Verstappen won last year's race at Silverstone. After all, he won most of them in 2023, with Lando Norris finishing in...
So maybe he will win another time. Another time.
Second place, and Lewis Hamilton taking the final step on the podium. And here's a cracking stat for you. Over the last 4 F1 race weekends, 4 different teams have taken pole position. That's proper pole, not the sprint pole. And they are Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren and Red Bull. So if a team other than those 4 takes pole, which may seem a little bit unlikely, but if they did, that would make it 5 different teams on the bounce on pole. Something that hasn't happened since 2005. 5 is a good number for many reasons, but most of all because it's the number of dry tyre compounds in the Pirelli range. Oh yes, that is right. It is tyre talk time once again.
It is. Okay, sure.
The compounds available for this race then are perhaps unsurprisingly the hard C1, the medium C2 and the soft C3, the hardest selection in the Pirelli range. This is, after all, one of the toughest tracks of the season on tyres and is seen as right towards the top of the list along with the likes of Spa and Suzuka when it comes to stress and lateral forces put on the tyres. The front left is the one that will bear the brunt of the strain thanks to the number of right-handers around the track, and Pirelli says that corners like Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel are taken at such high speed that they generate lateral forces on the tyres of over 5G, of course, on the drivers as well. The number of high-speed corners means that controlling sliding to prevent the tyres from overheating is another key factor this time around, which is why, along with other technical features at Silverstone, we tend to see the hardest compounds selected here. Last year's winning strategy was a one-stopper with Max Verstappen starting on the medium tyres before changing to the softs on lap 33 and running them to the end of the race. There was an interesting split between the top 4 drivers though, with the top 3 all pitting on the same lap, but Lewis Hamilton, like Max Verstappen, put the softs on to run to the end, but Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri in P2 and P4 respectively both went for the hards, the Aussie making the switch just a few laps earlier than those ahead. Whatever the tyre choice though, most drivers made just the one pit stop and these soft tyres were very much the surprise package at last season's race. Degradation actually being lower in 2023 than expected across all 3 compounds, making the soft a viable option as a race tyre. We'll see if that's the case this year. The final few things worth noting on strategy. The total pit lane loss time last year was largely between 28 and 30 seconds. The safety car seems to absolutely love making an appearance at Silverstone, with all but one race since 2013 featuring at least one full safety car period. And of course, it's the British summertime, so the weather could easily mix things up across the event. And at time of recording, rain is in the air for Friday and Sunday, but as ever, the latest forecast as of Thursday morning is on screen for you now. And your schedule for this one is similar to the usual European times, although the race does start an hour later than you tend to see. So FP1 will kick the weekend off on Friday, as it tends to do at 12:30 PM BST, and that is followed by FP2, which takes place later that afternoon at 4 PM. The third and final practice session gets the Saturday F1 action started at 11:30 AM with qualifying underway from 3 PM. And it will be lights out for the race on Sunday at 3 PM, and once again, that is in UK time. Now, before I make some predictions, let's have a quick run through some of the news stories ahead of this weekend's action at Silverstone.
Oliver Behrman. Sign.
Now, first up, I know the media have milked this to death in the 3 short days since it happened, but given it has only been a few days, I think it would be a bit odd if I didn't at least mention what's been said since that collision between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris in Austria. So Norris has told Radio X that he would not change what he did at the Red Bull Ring despite how it all turned out. The McLaren driver coming to that conclusion after reviewing everything that happened and explained that neither driver wanted things to end the way they did, and added quite simply that that is just life sometimes. He went on to say, and I will read this full quote, "We're fighting, we both want to win, and we're going to push it to the limit, some slightly more than others. At the same time, I'm excited. We're going to have more fights together, and I look forward to those times." Meanwhile, Christian Horner, as most team bosses would, has jumped to the defence of his driver, saying that he believes the criticism Verstappen has received is both wrong and unfair, before insisting that the Dutchman will not change his approach, and adding that there is actually an element of Norris, and I quote, "learning how to race Max, and they're still discovering that." Verstappen himself hasn't said an awful lot since the weekend. Then again, as I sit here and record this on Wednesday afternoon, it has only been a few days since the weekend, so maybe he'll say more later in the week. However, Helmut Marko, who is usually very quiet around these things and doesn't tend to stir the pot too much, that's sarcasm by the way, has labelled Norris's behaviour on the radio as, quote, pathetic. Yes, before going on to add that these things happen, he thinks it was a racing incident, but believes it was more likely Norris that overstepped the mark than Verstappen. Look, I'm not getting back into this properly because everyone's going to have a different view on this and there's just no point arguing on the internet because you can't. At least not a rational one with some people. Let's not get into that either. That's a completely different conversation. And as I've already said, it has been milked.
Why even mention it then? You're just asking for problems.
To death already, and it'll be about the only thing that some broadcasters talk about all weekend. But I thought I'd give you an update on who has said what since Sunday. Elsewhere, Aston Martin has confirmed the appointment of Andy Cowell as Group Chief Executive Officer as part of its ongoing journey to become F1 World Championship contenders in the future. He will come in to take the place of Martin Whitmarsh, who will hand over his responsibilities before the end of the year, Cowell taking on the role from October 1st. And if you're not sure who Andy Cowell is, he's probably best known for overseeing Mercedes' high-performance powertrains between 2013 and 2020, so during the team's domination following the big 2014 rule change. So it's a bit of a coup for Aston, and the team will naturally be hoping he can turn their fortunes around ahead of the next big rule change in 2026. And at time of recording, we have 3 FP1 driver changes confirmed for this weekend. First up, we already knew that Ollie Bearman will be back behind the wheel of a Haas on Friday morning in Kevin Magnussen's car, but he will be joined at Silverstone by Jack Doohan, who will be taking Pierre Gasly's seat in the morning session. As if that wasn't enough, Franco Colapinto will be out on track in Logan Sargent's Williams.
Oh, that would be amazing. Colapinto.
For his debut, although I say debut, he did drive for the team at the end of season young driver test last year, so I suppose more accurately it's his FP1 and F1 race weekend debut. Either way, looking forward to seeing what he can deliver. And on the subject of Williams, the team has also confirmed that it will be running a one-off livery for the British Grand Prix, the car featuring the Union flag, and in thanks and appreciation to everyone at the team's headquarters in Grove, as well as at their New York and London bases, and of course at the races, all of those names will be featured across the engine cover as part of the flag. A nice touch from Williams. We should also be getting a tweet of Red Bull livery, by the way, for this one. And that's as part of the team's fan livery competition they tend to run these days. But I haven't seen it at time of recording, so let me know what you think of it down in the comments below.
Wait, what?
We featured across the engine cover as part of the flag. A nice touch from Williams. We should also be getting a tweet of Red Bull livery, by the way, for this one. And that's as part of the team's fan livery competition they tend to run these days. But I haven't seen it at time of recording, so let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. On Ollie Bearman, keep an eye on the news this weekend because we may hear something, possibly before this video goes out, on where he is going to be racing next season.
Yeah, he will be racing for Haas.
Right, let's make some predictions then. And as always, please do not take these too seriously, just a little bit of fun. But if you do disagree with my picks, then you can let me know yours in the comment section down below. And last time out, not too bad for me anyway. Points for Verstappen taking sprint pole and sprint win, as well as half a point for Norris making top 3 in the sprint, but in the wrong place. However, unfortunately wrong on most of the race stuff, although I wasn't that far off pre-turn 3 drama, so thanks guys. But hey, half a point for Piastri on the podium, so that's something. This week, I'm actually fully expecting a very similar pecking order to last weekend, and indeed last year at Silverstone, at the front at least. Red Bull have gone well at the track in recent years and it should suit their car, but McLaren were strong here 12 months ago and they do look like they are at the very least a match for Red Bull at most circuits, and Mercedes do tend to go well at Silverstone too. Look, I'm just hoping Ferrari can get themselves in the mix as well this weekend, mainly for my own sanity, it's got to be said, but also because it would be really nice to spice things up and have 5 teams battling it out at the very front. Perhaps Dreamland, but hey, why not? That said, we are probably looking at Verstappen versus Norris again, hopefully with a bit less controversy this time, with the likes of Piastri, the 2 Mercedes drivers, perhaps the Ferraris, and maybe even Sergio Perez fighting out for the remaining podium spot. So my predictions for this one are similar to last week, but I'll make one change so they're not just identical. I'll go with Max Verstappen for pole on Saturday by a very narrow margin, with Lando Norris getting the jump on him in the race to take the win. I'll go with Max for P2, though, and Oscar Piastri taking the final step on the podium. Behind them, I'll put Ferrari as best of the rest, so 4th best finishing team on Sunday, and say that the fastest lap of the race, a thing that has been a bit all over the place this year, it's got to be said, is set by George Russell with a late pit stop and some fresh tyres to help him out. As for some bolder predictions, I'll say that Fernando Alonso has a much better weekend and drags Aston Martin into the top 10.
No.
Alex Albon gets a point for Williams at the team's home Grand Prix. And my final bold pick is we get a hugely dramatic race, rain gets involved, and Sauber managed to grab their first point of the 2024 season. You never know and all that. That is it then for the British Grand Prix preview, but don't forget you can let me know your thoughts and your predictions ahead of the weekend in the comments section down below. Now, I will be back on Saturday with the qualifying watch-along around about 2:30 PM UK time. And, of course, I will be live shortly after the race with Stuart on Sunday for some race reaction. In the meantime, though, if you did enjoy this one, then please do leave a like, as it really does help the channel out. And consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future videos or streams. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean. This has been the F1 Word. And until next time, goodbye.
Let's see.
Very...
No, don't do we? Nope. No, why not? Fuck off.
Yeah, possible.
Yeah.
Thirsty for more.
Fastest lap.
Okay, pull Max Verstappen, yes. Race win, Norris, no. I'm hoping he will get a race win, but it will be so funny if Max Verstappen in and get the win. Podium, I would change Norris. Fastest lap, I mean, this could happen. Best of the best, yeah, Ferrari, sure. 18 team to watch McLaren. Yeah. Okay, go away. Yeah. We can do the F1 Nation now.
In Austria.
Ah man, this will not be fun. Listen to Tom Clarkson talking about this race.
Formula One boiled over.
Verstappen and Norris fighting lap after lap. Oh, they made contact. He's got a puncture. He's damaged his front wing. The leading contenders for the World Championship come together at turn 3. The crowd can't believe it.
Verstappen and Norris's fight for the lead ended in a storm of shredded rubber. George Russell drove through it to take an astonishing win.
No, he didn't. That was not astonished.
It's not over until it's over.
Welcome to the paddock at the Red Bull Ring. I'm Tom Clarkson and my F1 Nation teammates for our review of a scintillating Austrian Grand Prix are Davide Valsecchi, GP2 champion, commentator and presenter, and of course we've got our very own Natalie Pinkham.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. We're going to be joined as well by Brazilian journalist Julian Sarasoli. But first of all, immediate reaction after the race. Let's go to the racing driver first.
Ciao Tom, ciao Natalie. Amazing afternoon. I really enjoyed it. Was already good the first few laps of the sprint race yesterday. I loved it. That launch from very far away from Norris to Verstappen was mega and was a champion move. And then the reaction of Verstappen into that break and turn 4 and downhill was the reaction of the 3 times world champions. And I really loved it. I think Norris was too hard to himself. He covered the line. He said that he didn't cover enough, but that corner is impossible to approach it completely on the white line if you want to defend the position. Anyway, the move from Verstappen was perfect. Today I really enjoyed the race, and I know that maybe the drivers went a bit over the limit. They were not really fair 100%, but they showed that the build-up was mega. Everyone in the paddock hoped to be able to drive like that show today, and yes, ended up in an incident, and no one of the two won the race. But believe me, I really enjoyed it and I loved it.
I think the incident was always going to happen at some point. Pinks, you've spoken to all the main protagonists for Sky after the race. What was the take? What were they saying?
I mean, it was interesting, wasn't it? Because it was that slow pit stop from Red Bull that ultimately brought Lando back into the race. And then we saw, hello, here, we've got a race on our hands. This is exciting. As you say, it almost seemed inevitable that they were going to trip over one another. At lap 64, it happens, and it was kind of shocking at the same time as being predictable. And as you say, a wide-eyed George Russell steaming through to take only his second Grand Prix win of his career. Toto Wolff got so excited, he talked to me under braking. He said it's the most embarrassing moment of his career because he got so excited. George said he nearly crashed the car as a result. But look, ultimately it was a fabulous result for Mercedes. Their first win in 33 races, 37 points, crucial points for them in the championship. So yeah, it was a thriller.
What are crucial points for what? Grey, purple. Who the fuck are they fighting? Ferrari? Dasher pink.
What a race was it. So I was there in the media center and we tried to write the stories because the stories, they need to be done just after the race ends. So I had it all written and I was like, okay, this is gonna change. How is it going to change? So I started to write again and I started to write again. I think I wrote, I don't know, 10 finishes for that race.
You're like Ferrari down to plan G.
Yeah, so sometimes it's a quicker way and today it wasn't. Today it was just like writing and rewriting. And that's the kind of race that we want. We don't want to have the story ready before it's over.
Well, look, we will talk about our race winner, George Russell, in more detail in a minute. But let's start by hearing from the two whose fight for the win ended in dramatic fashion, Lando Norris and Max Verstappen.
Yeah, it's of course unfortunate. It's stuff that you don't want to see happening. It's as simple as that. Of course, I will look back at it because, I mean, of course, at the moment, it's easy to say stuff. I think it's better to just look back at the footage of what exactly went wrong because it was a bit of a, I would say, an awkward angle that we touched. It's something that, yeah, it's very weird, and also for both of us to get a puncture with it is, yeah, really bad. But we also did so many things wrong throughout the race that we put ourselves, you know, in a position like that. So those are also things that we have to look at to improve.
I think both of you guys were saying throughout the race that you felt both of you weren't doing the right thing. I know you're good friends. Is this the kind of thing you'll go away and talk about going forward?
Yeah, of course we'll talk about it. At the moment, I think it's not the right point. It's better to just let things cool off, I think, ideally. But besides that, I'm more annoyed also with just how the performance of the racers and the mistakes that we made that normally we don't make.
Actually true.
Hey Lando, just talk me through how you're feeling after a Grand Prix where you had incredible pace. You should have really won that race, and obviously it just didn't happen with contact with Max.
Yeah, I thought it was a good race until then. Clearly a little bit on the back foot in terms of overall pace comparing to Max.
Oh my
God. The first and second stint, he would always just edge away that little bit. But they just seem to make a lot more mistakes than what we did. They messed up their pit stop, which is rare from them, but clearly a bit of pressure from their side, and they started to slip up a little bit. But I felt like I drove a good race. I kept myself in the fight the whole time. It was very difficult on track easy to make mistakes, so difficult to drive because of the wind and conditions and things like that. But, just feel let down. You know, a lot of damage on the car. The car's completely destroyed now, so yeah, a shame. I don't know. You want to keep driving, and if I go back to the pits in a better way, I could have probably gone out and got some points, but the car was too badly broken. So I don't know what I'm going to say. I did all I could. I gave a fair, respectful, you know, on the edge battle.
Respect? No, you. How would I say the dive bombs you did was so? Would call it that respectful. But hey, sure. Maybe more respectful what Max Verstappen would have done, but who knows?
But that's not what I got in return.
Obviously, you and Max have always been good friends, or you've long been good friends. Is it the kind of thing that you just want to go and chat about? Because obviously
it's not for me to say, it's for him to...
Yeah, of course. I wonder how this will end. I mean, like everyone else believes, Max Verstappen will probably not go back. But will Lando Norris go back? Maybe not. And if he doesn't go back, would they act like nothing happened? The race never happened. So whatever they said, they can just ignore it. Just act like everything. The Austria race was cancelled, so nothing happened.
To say something. I did nothing wrong. He was the one in the wrong, so he's the one that should say something, not me.
Now I'm really interested to see how this plays out, because there's only a few days until we go racing again. They're good mates, but they need to have a chat about this. And Lando said in the pen, if he owns up to it, if he owns the moment, said it was his fault, then ultimately I will regain some of the respect I lost for him today on the track. I mean, they're strong words, aren't they? I'd love to be a fly on the wall when they do have that chat. I think ultimately when emotions calm down and the dust settles, Max will hopefully...
He will not. The fuck is wrong with you? Why would he say he was in the wrong when even Peter Wichert would say he did nothing wrong? Well, did nothing wrong. He did what he can do because of how the rules are. So why would you say you're in the wrong if the rules say you can do this?
Own the moment. It's interesting because I was chatting with my esteemed colleague Naomi Schiff on air on Sky earlier, and she was saying, look, you know, ultimately we've said that Max has ironed out these immaturities from his race.
Yeah, true. And now they are back. Or they never disappeared. Or maybe everyone drives like this because how the rules are.
He's no longer going for...
Just look at how Kevin Magnussen is driving. That's nothing to celebrate. So, yeah, of course.
Moves that aren't there. Is no longer taking risky moments in a race. Today proved slightly differently. I mean, I don't know if it just adrenaline searing through their veins and they've got racing in the DNA. I mean, Davide, you tell me as a racing driver, does that ever ultimately get ironed out of your racecraft?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm hoping that is never going to change Verstappen. I mean, everyone in...
I mean, what should change? That he want to win? Okay. Don't everyone want to win? Lando Norris said himself he wanted to win. That every driver want to win. I mean, that's why he's that good, because he will always fight to be the best all the time.
In the paddock knows that if you want to overtake Verstappen, you need to be extreme. And your move has to be the move of your career. If not, you cannot do it, overtake. We know the aggressivity and how hard is Verstappen to respond to the attack. And I think that is the key point of his strength. He's a champion now, but today proved that sometimes in the track is almost unbeatable. In his mind, he's always unbeatable. When he's leading the race, he's ended up that we are both out or I'm winning. And I love this attitude. I know that for someone can be too extreme, but everyone in the paddock knows and respect this fact. If we want to beat him, we have to be extreme. If no, we are going to end it up in the wall.
Look, I think that's great, and as a viewer, it's thrilling to watch, but it's not fair on Lando, and actually, you know, ultimately he's out of the race. And Max.
So, one of the things.
Oh, okay. At time, that's the funniest thing. People won't see this fighting, but they also don't want to see the fighting. It's like, the fuck do you want? You act like this is the worst thing ever that have ever happened in Formula 1, but still you want it to happen.
That makes Nest so versatile is its modular expandability. So it can go all the way from its 16-litre configuration up into 30 litres.
True.
Today I'm going to start by showing you Nest from its most basic configuration.
It's got a 10-second penalty that didn't impact
it was too much.
Too much? It didn't impact his race.
No, it was not too much. It was the maneuver, the defense of Verstappen was too much. They were over the limit. He got penalized for that.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
But ultimately, it didn't change his position at all in the race. He tumbled down the order to 5th because of the damage. But Lando's out of the race altogether.
Well, can we just get...
The fuck is... Where do we have this pink... what's it called? Man. I mean, like, this is... what you can 100% say, British bias too.
The racing driver perspective. What did Max do wrong in your eyes?
Probably was a bit over the limit. So sometimes he's not able to accept that someone is beating him, and he was extreme in the defense. Sometimes he moved a bit at the end of the braking points, but believe
everyone does it. I mean, I look at Kevin Magnussen. He's moving wherever he wants to move.
Me. In that area is not easy because it's not completely straight. You can watch your rival just at the end of that break, because if no, from
also, who the fuck is this? Who's talking? Don't know anything about this guy. Light grey, lime, light blue, magenta, cyan, green, black, red, orange, white, pink, grey, yellow, lime. Nice. We have one. Flopper light grey is 10, 12. 3 more is needed for this. Flopper white. Flopper white.
The mirror, you cannot see him because he's cornering a bit the corner. So he was watching in. At the end of the break, he saw that Norris was launching from miles away, and he just moved a bit the line. I heard Norris was complaining about it. From me, it was fine. And also for FIA was fine. But then in the last try of Norris, seems that he moved a bit too much on the outside and up in the contact. For sure that was a mistake. And seems that from his word, just after the race, he realized it. Usually in the past he's been very aggressive to say, no, FIA was wrong, my maneuver was fine. He didn't say anything. Probably in the next few days he's going to say sorry to Norris.
Why would they? Everyone drives on the limit, trying to squeeze out everything that can make you not get a penalty, but it looks like you should get a penalty. So why would they say, yeah, I'm sorry that I tried to win?
But what I loved from this driver is that is a different type of Formula 1, and these 3 years that I'm missing this feeling that these guys that were bringing the level today so high standard, so high level, and they were able to risk it all in the track. I think we are missing it from Verstappen against Hamilton, this type of feeling. Oh no, it's rare that we're missing that someone is able to challenge Max Verstappen on the overtakes and on this maneuver. And I'm happy to say that probably Norris today matched this level, a championship level. That's my feeling.
You're absolutely right, and I think this is the first of many. You know, we're going to see these kind of battles now, hopefully for the rest of the season. Hopefully with both of them seeing the checkered flag, though.
Guys, I felt there was an inevitability about today. I thought we saw round one in Spain last week when Norris pushed him onto the grass going down to turn one.
You liked it or no? Because I loved it. I said, look at him, look at him. They were complaining about Norris in Italy that was too soft last year against Verstappen because he had not the car to race Verstappen. This year that he's able to win races, did you saw how he changed? He's becoming the champions that we want to have.
And wasn't it the same in 21 as well? We could almost see it coming. It was like getting worse and worse.
Oh my god, now we're in second person that I don't nothing about. Fuck of F1 Nation podcast is this? Random people on the street are they talking to? What the fuck is this? Glitter green. Glitter green.
So worse between him and Hamilton until
or is that they would think better and better and better?
Yeah, I mean worse was in terms of them being more aggressive to each other until it started to get like super aggressive.
Right, so we all agree it was inevitable. I would say this though, that the move around the outside at turn 3 was never going to work. We've seen it in 2016. It's so easy to be pushed wide if you go around the outside. I feel it was a strategic error of Lando.
Probably, but we need to consider also that he was, how do you say in English? He was a bit desperate at the time. I mean, he tried...
For some reason, he could just have waited. And then hopefully get past... Why? Only one glitter. But yeah, he didn't wait. I mean, it was like 20 laps left. And he could just wait at least 10 laps. And then he could be more desperate to get past if he not succeeded. Cobb White.
Tried 3 times on Verstappen. Verstappen saved himself at the end. And then he was already having more difficult to catch Verstappen back. And then at least at the end, when he was so close, he said, I tried already 3 times on the inside. Didn't work out. Let me try on the outside. I mean...
Didn't work out.
Didn't work out, yeah, okay. But he was close to do it. I mean, yeah, probably in that break, he was thinking to be able to brake a bit more and then crossing the line and then having the DRS and the speed on the inside to attack and turn 4. That was the idea. But against Verstappen and sometimes in the overtake, you imagine something and then you're not able to do it. I mean, it was a bit unlucky. Also, Verstappen moved, but not so much. They were unlucky, the touch was by 5 or 6 centimeters. For sure, he didn't do it voluntarily to throw away the race. But the idea of the driver that is in front is to open the line so much to give you problem, to give you trouble, to shoulder, to push you wide a bit and to don't be attacked to the next corner. That's the idea to the driver of his defending.
Davide was making earlier a very good point about this track. There's always problems in this track because of the camber of the corners. We've seen here with Albon and Hamilton in the past. There's always trouble here. So I think part of the reason is, okay, Verstappen is aggressive. Lando this time, he didn't respect Verstappen the way he did probably in a few races ago. Many times I hear the fans saying, oh, he respects Max too much, he needs to attack Max. And that happened today. He really didn't respect him as much as he usually does. And that's the track as well. This track is a bit tricky.
I have a question, Tom. Because you said maybe strategically that maneuver was not perfect from Norris. But do you think that Norris is not racing so well in the last few races, or do you think that his level now is a championship level?
Well, he's left something on the table, you'd have to say. He's missed opportunities.
Please.
There have been missed opportunities, and Lando is his harshest critic. Think what he was saying after Spain. After Spain, he said he drove that perfect qualifying lap on Saturday and that he should have won the race on Sunday.
Sa du förebygg mjäll?
Ja, precis.
Men då behövs väl inte du?
Ha inte mjäll. Förebygg det istället.
Kom igen nu!
Streama dina favoriter på TV4 Play.
Dubai is hot.
So I think he will, in the cold light of day, when he wakes up tomorrow, I think he will think, this is a race I should have won.
Another race.
And I think he should have been maybe more patient.
He should have.
But he will learn. Lando's an intelligent guy. Do you know, I in a way feel that this had to happen. Because I feel Max now knows that he is not going to back down.
Interesting, though. Interesting, because the same happened in 2019 with Charles Leclerc. It was like a coming of age for the monogas driver. He went, I've got to get my elbows out if I'm going to take Max Verstappen on. And it was at this very track.
Yep. And as a result, we've seen some great battles between the two of them. And I think that is what is going to happen now between Norris and Verstappen. I would like sometimes for Verstappen to accept second place, or at least accept being over.
Why do you want that? So your British drivers can mostly win? Yeah, sure. Let's see, we need Snooper. Okay, we don't need Super, we need Spotty. Yeah, I think that Lewis Hamilton should have done that in Silverstone 2021. He should just let Charles Leclerc win. And he was just a sad fucking loser, so he didn't do that. So what do you mean, Tom Clarkson?
Overtaken.
It's just not in his DNA.
Yeah, never going to happen.
Do you think it'll never happen?
I don't know.
Would Lewis Hamilton ever do that? Or would you rather wanna see Lewis Hamilton trying everything to win a race? No, fuck Lewis Hamilton. He should just turn himself. He should just bow down to everyone. Because he doesn't need any more wins. Right, Tom Clarkson?
No, now is three-time world champion is for sure more calm. But when the battle raise up so much, is every time ready to overtook the limit of the sport, of the fairness, to defend this position. I love that. I'm sorry, but I love that. I mean, seems like Michael Schumacher that was every time close to the limit and sometimes over to defend the victory and the position. I mean, is the fact of this Formula One, we have a type of driver like this. I love it.
Davide, I could both listen and talk to you all night, but I have to go.
Thanks, travel safe.
Thank you very much.
Thank God. Leave.
Ciao, Natalie.
This is an advertisement from BetterHelp.
BetterHelp. You will not make it better help. So go fuck yourself.
On what you says, Davide, will this affect their relationship?
Yes.
I hope no. They are good mates. They travel together with the private jets.
I mean, we will soon see it. In how many hours is it? In 15 hours, 53 minutes, we will see how Lando Norris and Max Verstappen will do stuff. Cobb white. Oh, it's almost right with the orange. White. Cobb white.
Together sometimes on esports games. I mean, yeah, I think that in 2 or 3 days, Verstappen is going to ask sorry and to say sorry to no.
Why would he? Really, he will say sorry. I feel like there's a lot of copium. I mean, if you feel like you are sorry, you will say it. Why would Max Verstappen feel sorry? So he wants to say it.
There is Lando just walking past us now. I don't think he looks... He's disappointed, but I feel... What I was saying earlier, I think he feels he's put a marker in the sand.
I agree with you. He's feeling that it's coming his time. And sometimes it's like this, no? There was Lewis Hamilton dominating. Then there was the battle between Hamilton and Vettel, did you remember? And it seems that every time they were battling together, Hamilton was winning the battle. And now there was the time of Verstappen. Everyone was against Verstappen. Verstappen was winning the battle. But now it seems that, I don't know, I think that it's changing. There is someone, some team like McLaren, and they are working very well. Because yesterday in the sprint race, they were suffering the last few laps. Did you remember? So Verstappen held on the position 3 or 4 laps. And then he opened the gap. McLaren used it. And today they were different. They were the strongest in the last part of the race. They saved the new tires for the last stint.
Yep.
And seems that the condition was different. And Verstappen was under threat by Lando Norris and by his team McLaren. So I think that maybe
who the fuck is this guy?
It's going to create a different story from now on the rest of the season and from the next years.
All the time?
Max said something interesting. I don't know if you agree with, but he said me and Lando, we never battled in the lower categories, so he doesn't know how I race. So he's learning to race with me now. So these things may happen now until, he said we're going to talk about it and all that, but he didn't have the experience that Charles Leclerc had in the lower categories. It was just an incident, the famous one. But I don't know what you think about that, if he's got a good point or not.
I think he's got a good point. I think Lando's probably watched enough of his battles on TV to know what to expect. But you know what, can we just take one step away from the incident that took place today? And actually, as significant for me was this is the first time in a long time that Red Bull have actually dropped the ball. They were perfect in qualifying.
True.
They were perfect
they
in
dropped
the sprint.
Everything.
Yet he was complaining about his gears, he was complaining about his tyres. Of course, they had that slow pit stop that allowed the 10-second gap to get shrunk down to 1.7 seconds. That ultimately led to them having this battle. And this is the first time that Red Bull have dropped the ball.
He had the little mistake where he locked up after the pit stop in the brake downhill in turn 4. So, yeah, they were under pressure. And
they were.
Sometimes this year they were beaten. Okay, Monte Carlo was a strange race. Then they were beaten.
And they will be in the British Grand Prix also. Now hopefully it will not end in a crash, but in an amazing race.
In Australia, caused the technical failure. But in the last few races, in some part of the race, we had the feeling that there was someone better than Red Bull and Verstappen. And we need to consider also that in this weekend, Verstappen pulled out an extreme performance against his teammate. He was every time 7, 8 tenths in front
so
of
many
Perez.
fishes.
It's not going to happen every single racetrack, that gap and that margin. I mean, I think that Verstappen is driving at his best in the last few races, but there is someone that is racing him on race pace, and that someone is Lando Norris with McLaren. I mean, they need to improve a little bit. From my point of view, the managing of the race engineer could be a bit better now. But I'm with the driver. I'm always saying that the driver is right and the team is wrong. So that is the mentality of the driver. They has to raise up the level of his engineer, using the calm and the patience to calm down the driver. And then the next one, they are not good enough at the start. Did you saw Tom the start? In the last few starts, every time Verstappen is gaining 2 meters. So from my point of view, the starting system of McLaren they are using is not good enough. Maybe it's the driver reaction, maybe I don't know, but it's a fact that Verstappen always gained 2 meters in the start, and then third thing, pit stop. In the last, now I don't know the result of this race. For the first time, maybe McLaren was quicker than Red Bull, but in Barcelona, Red Bull, he had the quickest first 2 pit stop. 2 seconds, 198, and that was impressive. So I mean, the team is built up for winning, and with Verstappen they win every race. Today was not the case.
Yeah, with the pit stops, McLaren in the same lap, they did a 2.3 and a 2.1 pit stop, so it was really good. Yeah, in this race.
Yeah, 24. It will be more than 24 fishes minus for the collection. The fuck is this?
But yeah, so it was a completely different story from last weekend. So last weekend, McLaren, in terms of performance, was a little bit ahead of Red Bull, but Red Bull, in operational terms, won the race. And this time, Red Bull, in terms of performance, they were way better than McLaren for most of the race. And then Red Bull just left the door open bit by bit. So the first pit stop for Verstappen was a bit slow as well. It wasn't one of those 2.1 or 1.9 that Red Bull usually does. And then I think, and Max thinks, that it took them too many laps to stop him for the second stop. He was wasting a lot of time with traffic. It was hard for him with the hard tires. Another mistake, saving 2 sets of hards and not saving 2 sets of mediums like everybody else. So it's just little mistakes. And then he comes out of the pits, slow pit stop. He gets a bit under pressure. He makes a mistake that we don't usually see from Max. And then it all builds up in little operational mistakes, leading to what we're seeing in the next laps.
What do we have to expect in Silverstone? A McLaren strong like this, a McLaren even stronger, someone closer to Verstappen in quali, that is the key. If Verstappen is not starting first, it will be not so easy to lead the race for 50 laps for him.
Well, I think Silverstone with its fast corners will suit the Red Bull, but let's not come on to Silverstone just yet. Let's finish by just saying that Verstappen still leads the championship, all right? He's got 81 points over Norris now, so he's sitting pretty at the top there, and it is still, I feel, we're at the halfway point in this championship now. You know, Verstappen is still in the pound seat, isn't he? So Lando needs points at every race. So every
oh my god. 327. Oh my god, so many fishes that are copies. God damn it. Let's see where can I place. I can't place them anywhere. That's lame. Let's take them down and then we can control, make sure. Oh, all these fishes copies or not? Nah, this would be boring.
Race he doesn't score is really hurting his championship challenge. But on the topic of Lando Norris, he is my guest on Beyond the Grid this week. I recorded it before the race, but he gave incredible insight into how he's approaching racing.
Man, you should have done it after the race. Then you could have talked about the race. Or remember, done it after the Silverstone. Why did you do it so early when you could have done it after Silverstone?
Max this season. So that's out on Wednesday. But now, guys, let's bring it back to the race. The race winner. We haven't yet really discussed George Russell. Okay, he was there to pick up the pieces and take an extraordinary victory.
For just
no,
the
it wasn't.
Time in Formula One, the British driver will see the flag first, and George Russell wins an amazing Austrian Grand Prix.
What the fuck was amazing with it? If Lando Norris had won or finished P2, then it would be amazing. But it didn't. So what the fuck is amazing with that?
He beat Oscar Piastri home by 1.9 seconds. Carlos Sainz is back on the podium for the first time since Monaco. Mercedes win a Grand Prix for the first time since 2022.
Feels really great, to be honest. These last 3 races as a team, we've really turned it up. I feel that Montreal was probably a victory that we missed out on, and we ended up finishing P3. Today was a deserving P3, and we got the victory. So it's funny how this sport turns around. And
the best thing, it could be the only win Mercedes will get this season. Hopefully. Because why should I get more wins? When Norris or Max Verstappen can get them. And what the fuck is this?
Enzo från Soda Street.
Hej där! Du vet väl om att på NetOnNet kan du alltid fynda hemelektronik? NetOnNet, kampen för...
And just credit to all the team for all the hard work they've done. Such huge progress since the start of the year.
This is also a racetrack that brings out the best in you. You're the first driver to win here in GP3, Formula 2 and now Formula 1.
Yeah, it's a track I enjoy. The last couple of years have been very difficult for us as a team, and we didn't have high expectations going into this weekend, but you know, we ended up qualifying P3 yesterday, and we've been in that mix, and as I said, we were fighting for the podium. I think realistically we still probably have, you know, the third quickest car behind Red Bull and McLaren, but the last 3 races, you know, Lewis and I have been in that P3 spot, so you know, we're really getting the most out of it. And
is this?
Sometimes racing this, it goes your way.
And what a result to take into your home race at Silverstone next weekend. Do you dare to dream about a repeat on home soil?
You always dare to dream, for sure. Anything can happen. I think Red Bull were really quick this weekend in the high-speed corners, so they're going to look pretty strong next week in Silverstone, but we've got a few days between now and then. I'll be on the simulator on Tuesday, back at the factory, so yeah, really excited for that one.
Give us your thoughts on George.
Perfect weekend. Perfect weekend. And
better than Lewis Hamilton. Hi.
Yeah, the consideration
still the way he's out-qualified Hamilton this year. The 2 wins that Mercedes have taken in this regulation since 22, both George.
It's my personal feeling that in the paddock this man is underrated, and from my personal thought, if there is someone that is able to challenge Lewis Hamilton in a Formula 1 car, it means that is going to be a champion. That is my feeling. So no way. Sometimes this year he had some mistake. Maybe in Canada he was too aggressive and he cut the chicane 3 times and maybe could win that race. But if there is someone in Formula 1 that challenge Hamilton and stay close to him and is able to beat him, for me, he's going to become a champion.
I completely agree with you, which is why I say I don't think he's underrated. I think people know how good George Russell is.
I hope, because today was an outstanding performance all weekend long. Wait, did you remember the fight in the first few laps with Hamilton?
The party starts now. George Russell just walking past us. He's clutching a bottle of champagne. He's flying back with Fernando Alonso to Monaco this evening. And I think he said if the party he has tonight is only 50% as good as the party that Lando Norris had after his win in Miami, it'll still be an incredible party.
But it's a wrong place. Wrong place to win for a party.
Anyway, it was perfect in the sprint qualify. While I think Hamilton had the little mistake in turn 3. He was very good in the sprint race, defending and regaining the position to Sainz. And then he was perfect in the quali, staying less than 110 in front of Hamilton, the legend. And then today, he battled Hamilton in the first few laps. He gained the little battle with him, and he gained and secured the victory with that. Then he got lucky, I know, but you have to be in that position to win the race, and he was there. He was there. So if there is a man that probably deserve a car to fight with Lando Norris and Verstappen is George Russell, and I can't wait to see him up there.
I think it's all facts, what David was saying, but I do feel that Mercedes feels that George, sometimes he changes a little bit and he gets a bit over-aggressive, or he starts making mistakes when he feels he's got a chance to win. And that has happened before. It has happened in Singapore last year. The team felt like he was trying to control everything inside the team because he felt he had a chance, and this has happened in Canada as well. So there is this small concern at Mercedes about how he's saying I'm underrating him. Oh no, that there is this
Hand
concern.
gestures from Valsecchi.
There is this concern, and that's why Toto got on the radio going, come on George.
No, I think Toto got on the radio because he just couldn't believe that they were about to win a Grand Prix.
By mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then in Canada he goes like, focus George, so he feels the need to do that with him. So it's this little bit, it's a little bit that he needs to improve, but this weekend...
Or maybe just Toto Wolff is just impatient and just think he's doing the right thing, but maybe doing the wrong thing. Making the situation worse. How many? Oh, 1. Then we can... Yeah, continue.
Basically, he maximized. Maybe for him, the best scenario is like this: not having a chance for winning, and then just end up winning.
And it is incredible the journey that Mercedes have been on this year.
No.
You know, where they were in Bahrain versus where they...
Fuck do you mean incredible? Where they were in Bahrain? Bahrain... you mean third best team? They started third best team and they ended up in Austria being the third best team again. Wow. What an upgrade.
They are now the new front wing that came to Monaco, and they've just got better and better and better. They've been on the podium for the last 3 races. They're still missing a tiny bit, but it's close. I could see them winning. Yeah, they had the 3rd best car here, and I can still see them gaining on the cars in front and winning a race on merit this year.
No,
Toto has said
they were
that
not.
He thinks that they are 0.2 behind, 2/10 behind, and he said they are bringing updates to every single race for the next few races, just small things. And he said he's never seen. He said the factory is in full steam. I've never seen the factory working like that. He was super excited, Toto, today. And everything that we are bringing to the car adds quality to the car and adds downforce.
That is the significant bit, isn't it? In that for 3 years almost, not everything they brought to the car was improving it. But we're now at a point with Mercedes, a bit like McLaren were when they arrived with the upgrade at this race last year, where what they add to that Mercedes now adds performance. So I think that is really
to win a race.
For the team.
No.
A quick word on Lewis Hamilton. Slightly scrappy weekend actually by Lewis's standards. He comes home 4th.
They don't have any
behind
standards
Carlos
anymore.
Sainz, having qualified 5th, and he was pretty down after qualifying. I think he thought it was a slightly scrappy session for him. Have you been surprised by the way that George has got one over Lewis this year more often than not?
I have too much respect for Lewis Hamilton, so for me he's always a legend. Also after a weekend where was not perfect at all, to be honest. I think that having Lewis Hamilton leaving the team, in my mind I immediately thought
oh
this
my god,
winter.
fuck, why can't I fucking see this? Oh my god, fucking pink Magenta. No, I hate this so much. I can't for some reasons sometimes see a fish, and then I looking for a fish that I know is a copy of a fish, but I can't fucking find the place where I placed it. So annoying. Continue.
George Russell is going to step up. I don't know, I get this feeling. And because in the last season Hamilton was better than Russell. The previous year they were challenged side by side, and now knowing that Hamilton was going away, was changing team, for me, for Russell, he needed to step up, and he did it. So I'm a bit disappointed because I think that Hamilton this weekend didn't have the same speed of Russell, and to try to match his performance, sometimes he overdrive that car. I mean, in the session, in the sprint qualify, he had that mistake, went a brake, I think, a bit too deep, and probably lost a bit of traction. He went a bit wide, he lost 3 turns. I mean, details that didn't make his weekend perfect. And he knew, at the beginning of this race, he knew that taking the position on Russell right at the beginning of the race, it was the guarantee of a good result. He tried and he missed. Russell in that he was just a bit better. So I don't know how to judge, but that's the fact.
And Lewis doesn't like this track, does he? He was asked this weekend, oh, do you like the track and the place here in Austria? And he said, oh, place is beautiful, but the track on my list is too... He did a list pointing down, really down on his list of favorite tracks.
Is that a factor, Davide? If you come as a driver to a racetrack that you don't actually like driving, does it influence your performance?
Wait, I think it's the fact because last weekend there was Barcelona, no? And Barcelona we saw an amazing performance by Hamilton. And if you look the stats in Barcelona, Hamilton is by far the best one. 6 victories, 6 pole position. When I saw the stat, I said, oh, he's going to crack everyone there. And more or less he did. I mean, he had an amazing...
What do we have? We need Spain. 3rd place. Wow. Yeah, true. Fucking real. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Amazing race. He beat Russell. He was quicker than him in the race, there was no doubt. He regaining on him, overtook him, so it was the best version of Lewis Hamilton. Here, probably the stats, they are not so good, and I think that Russell was a bit quicker. I don't know how to judge, but the result says that probably yes, probably.
I feel at this point we should talk about Ferrari. Carlos Sainz coming home in 3rd place from 4th on the grid. Leclerc, of course, having, you know, that incident at turn 1 with Piastri and Perez, and that made it very difficult for him, and he ultimately finishes just outside the points in 11th. But given the yo-yo of performance we've seen from Ferrari at the last 2 races, terrible in Montreal, better but still with work to do in Barcelona, I felt this was a much more solid performance by the Scuderia.
Yeah, but probably...
Come on.
Upptäck nya Brown Series 9 skäggtrimmer. Professionell precision och 100% kontroll.
Flopper White. Give me, where the fuck are you? Flopper White. Oh, fuck off.
Me personally, the team.
Oh wait,
the drivers with Leclerc, and the fans in Italy a bit disappointed that Mercedes was better than them. Yeah, because it's the fact Mercedes was better than them. Was quicker in quali, was quicker in the race. Today Russell was never challenged by Carlos Sainz. So from my point of view, this fact is a bit disappointing because in the beginning of the season, Ferrari was the 2nd best team, and now they are losing the challenge in the fight with McLaren. But seems that Mercedes is stepped up and is there, and sometimes in the last 3 races always is in front, and is a bit disappointed. And then also one thing, I love the Ferrari drivers also because I'm Italian. Yeah, but this weekend Leclerc was not very lucky, but as a driver we don't like this word, luck, unlucky. And
what, you make your own luck, is that what you believe?
Yeah, and was not perfect is the sentence. Was not perfect. Many little mistakes him probably his team, probably, you know, his crew, probably the strategy. Little mistakes that brings him out of the points and Sainz up there on the podium. You know, in the sprint qualifying race, he got this problem to leave in the clutch too early. I don't know, the anti-stall didn't work well.
End of the pit lane,
But he stole the car. That is a little mistake. That the anti-stall didn't work properly. Okay, so technical one. He had the mistake releasing the clutch because he stole the car, and so two little mistake. They waited so much. Probably was a little mistake in the pit lane to be the last one in the track. They had the problem. Didn't have the time in the Q3 sprint qualify. Mistake, and then start of the race. I love the aggressivity that put and the effort that made. Good overtakes. 7th. Didn't have the pace. Then ended up in 7th. Then quali yesterday. Very disappointed. He was there with Sainz, challenging Sainz, and then Sainz put a very good lap in the Q3. Little mistake in that corner, big mistake down there in the penultimate corner for Leclerc. Yeah, little, but again. And then starting 6th, being in trouble in the first corner because he was by side drivers. I mean, you know, and then was unlucky. He got caught. Last.
It was a frustrated drive for the whole weekend. And why is he frustrated? Because Ferrari are not getting any better. So they are bringing upgrades to the car. And it's actually getting worse because bouncing is coming back. We've seen bouncing in Spain. We've seen bouncing here at turns 9 and 10. And of course the drivers are going to get frustrated. And that's what's happening with Ferrari.
And I'm not sure it's going to be any better for them at Silverstone this coming weekend. It's all about fast corners, and fast corners have been their Achilles heel all season so far. So I think it's going to be another performance like this for them at Silverstone. As we're talking, Carlos Sainz Sr., as in Carlos's father, has been pacing up and down in front of us. Who do you think he's ringing? Is it Sauber? Is it Williams? Is it Alpine now? Is it Flavio? Who do you think he's
Mercedes waiting Verstappen.
No, just...
I hope for him a top team. And so I'm hoping for Mercedes that is waiting Verstappen for the future.
A 1 year deal.
Give him the chance for 1 year. He's going to take it. I think the driver wants to compete at the maximum level, and Mercedes now has a top car. I think this guy Sainz, that today had a great race and a very good and solid weekend, deserve to be in a very competitive car. So I hope for him the best.
I completely agree. 1 year deal at Mercedes, if it's offered, you've got to take that over the 3 year big bucks that he's been offered, for example, by Sauber and Audi. I think you have to go with performance before anything else.
Yeah, but I heard the rumor, but are you sure that Toto Wolff proposed to Carlos Sainz 1 year deal? Because from my point of view, he didn't. So I hope Toto Wolff is doing it in the next few days.
Yes. I mean, I haven't heard it from Toto's mouth, so I you know, a lot of hearsay in this paddock. But if it's offered to him, please accept it, Carlos Sainz. That's the message from us on F1 Nation.
What I could tell was that he was listening more than talking on that call.
Oh, Carlos Sr.
Yes, Carlos Sr. So we've got that. This is a fact. He was listening more than talking.
Super great.
Now, a few other performances I wanted to touch on. I mean, Perez finished 7th, a long way off his teammate in quali. He's clearly not happy with that car still, and I imagine confidence is rock bottom.
And it's amazing because Red Bull has been a little bit tricky to drive in the last month and a half. And then you can understand if the car is tricky to drive, then Verstappen is so good that he's going to get closer to the maximum of the performance, and then Perez will struggle a bit more. And then the car gets very good from the word go here in the Red Bull ring, and it's still far off. It's the same kind of gap.
It raises the question. We've just talked about the silly season with Carlos Sainz. If Checo doesn't start getting closer to Max, not only are Red Bull going to lose the Constructors' Championship, you know, the gap between Red Bull and Ferrari at the moment is down to 64 points. But not only that, going forward, 2025, I wonder whether Checo, although he's got that new 2 year deal, is he actually nailed on for next year if he doesn't raise his performance?
Good question. I don't know. But to be honest, it's sure that he has to raise up his performance. I always loved the Checo Perez. I always thought that he's not the best talent in the world, but was an incredible, solid driver before getting Red Bull by side Verstappen. But then, you know, then you challenge the talent, you challenge the top driver in the world, that you challenge the new world champion, and I don't know, I think the life becomes more difficult, and the life of the driver, that is teammate of the champions, become like a nightmare. I think that is not delivering. He's for sure able to stay closer to Verstappen and to be solid like he's been in the past few years in Formula 1, but today, missing the overtake on Hülkenberg for the sixth position. I mean, I was waiting for something different from Perez. Was the day with the problem of Verstappen to step up. I realized it on the grid. Today has to show something. In the home of Red Bull, he has to shine, and he missed it. So I hope for him to see him brilliant in one of the next races, because I know that he's able to do better. And like this is not enough. 7 tenths per lap, slower than your teammates. Okay, it's not the gap that give you the chance to stay in Formula 1 for much longer. It's a trouble, but these guys, everyone dreams to arrive there. Top 20 in Formula 1. 7 tenths, I'm sorry, it's too much. It's the fact. And I'm really sorry for him.
And we've seen what he can do in the beginning of the year. In the beginning of the year, he wasn't far off. So something...
Yeah, in the beginning. It was P2, P3. It was amazing beginning. And now for some reason it stopped being good. Come on. The last fishes to fucking look at. Can I just... Stripey. Stripey purple. Come on. This is so fucking lame. Why should it be so hard to find? There we have it. Stripe, purple, green. Now Sunstreak Grey. Must be on the new ones. Yep, Sunstreak Grey Orange. Sunstreak Grey Orange. Yes, that's done. Everything is looked through. Uh, 18, 20, 20. We should remove that for now. Okay, 18, 20, 22, 24, 27, minus 27. 18, 17, 60, 6, 27, 80, 90, 93. Yes, minus 27. And we should write that down. Let's see. We copy that. Zero 7 0 4 27 save. Now we go and put down the fishes in the aquarium. And then we will go and catch some more fishes. While F1 Nation talk about the amazing Austria race that happened. Or the Austria race that could been amazing if Landooooo won the race, or at least finished the race in P2. Hopefully Silverstone will bring that. Like, I wanna see Landooooo getting his second win. But for all the British fans, it would be so much funny if Max Verstappen wins that race. It looked like an easy Landooooo win. And then Max Verstappen just takes it. And wins it. Okay, Betty blue black. Betty grey light blue. Betty purple magenta. And Betty blue light blue. Blockfish lime light blue. Briny grey green. Clayfish blue yellow. Clayfish cyan lime. There's a yellow blue. There's a pink black. There's a green brown. There's a pink magenta. There's a blue cyan. Flopper black lime. Flopper white light grey. Glitter red cyan. Cob white blue. Cob grey red. Cob light blue brown. Snooper green red. Snooper orange lime. Snooper pink grey. Spotter white lime. Spotted red or red green. Spotted green purple. Stripy purple green. Sunstreak grey orange. Now we have 27 more tropical fishes for the collection. Man, the collection is so small. I mean, it's just covering just one side. Yeah, let's go back to... Yeah, the only turtle that are... Fucking Underman. The only turtle that are actually using the sand beach, you can call it. That's not much beach he's using. Yeah, have a nice day on the beach. Okay, back to collecting more fishes for the collection. It's time to go back to the F1 Nation
So at the beginning
podcast.
of last year, Jim.
Yes, and something just doesn't click in for him after May or something like that.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Hulkenberg, Davide, and what a feel-good story Haas is today. Hulkenberg coming home in P6, Magnussen P8. We saw the two of them scrapping on track, keeping it clean. You know, they've now jumped Alpine in the Constructors' Championship back to 7th with 19 points, 10 clear now of Alpine. Just what an incredible day for Haas. And actually, they've always gone well at this track. Why didn't I think of that before we came here?
Gillette Labs Neon Night Edition. En rakhyvel olik.
Oh my god. 20. Oh, and then we clicked that back on, but it's fucking F1 Nation podcast. You will not see, you will just see the still build. So nothing was missed. And also now it's ad time, so you will even more not be missed. More fishes for the collection. Now the ads are gone.
Yesterday with Magnussen, they were very competitive. Ended up 9th in the sprint, just outside the point. But it was very fast and very good. Same race pace of Perez. And today, with him, most of it with Hulkenberg. And then, did you hear that at a certain point of the race, Magnussen say something right? Oh, goes to Hulkenberg. He say,
yeah, I'm not.
Is
he managing his? We don't need to say it in English.
But you understand?
Yes,
people understand
he was
it.
Swearing, yeah.
Oh, swearing. Okay.
Yeah.
It's never true the story, or it's not always true the story, that you have to have this feeling, that atmosphere inside the team while teammates work together, while everyone is happy. This team today fight each other all race long for all the distance of the race, but the car was good. The driver went pushing to the limits, and they ended up 6th and 8th, saying each other's swearing during the race. So, did you realize that the story, we have to create harmony. You have to have a good car with the driver that battle each other to have the result.
Yeah,
it's not always true that the atmosphere. I really enjoyed that race. I thought, and we were thinking, they are going to lose time battling each other. I saw it. 6 and 8, probably was wrong.
You see that Davide, he wants hell between Verstappen and Norris. He wants hell at Haas. He wants just...
I don't want the people to consider that hell. Today was a great Formula 1 show.
No.
Maybe they were a bit over the limit.
If Lando Norris have won the race, Max Verstappen P2, Williams in points, Alpine in points, Visa Cash App RB Formula 1 team in points. Yes, Haas outside the points. Yes. But nothing of that happened. No, clownfish. God damn it. It looked like it could be one new fish for the collection, but this wasn't. It was just a lame clownfish.
We don't have to argue. We just have to enjoy the moment, because it was one of my best afternoon today of motorsport, and
100%.
I really loved it. So I hope that in Silverstone we are going to see something similar with probably Verstappen say
one more crash with Max Verstappen and Lando Norris.
Sorry to Norris, and try to fight into the limit, but I would like that everyone is going to love this Formula 1, because from my point of view today we saw two world-class drivers fighting each other, and maybe they made a mistake like everyone in the grid, but I think that Norris, he reached that level, and I really loved it.
But we also saw battles throughout the field. The two Haas guys we're talking about, the two Alpine drivers went at it as well, hammer and tongs. Gasly then coming home in 10th place and Ocon back in 12th, but the teammates were going hard here in Austria, weren't they? Look, but one last driver I wanted to ask you guys about, Daniel Ricciardo. You're punching the air, Davide. He comes home in 9th. He's a man under pressure. Gosh, I mean, talk about pressure. Montreal, pressure from pundits. Jacques Villeneuve, former world champion.
He's my friend.
Yes.
No, he lives not far from where I live.
So,
Yeah, it was very
Villeneuve, hard on him,
Yeah,
right?
but he's always hard.
Daniel
in life.
delivers. Daniel then delivers, okay?
And he did it.
Okay, we then go to Barcelona last weekend where they introduced the updates at VCARB. They didn't work. So both him and Yuki had a frustrating weekend there. He then comes here. They revert back to the old spec car. It performs much better, and Daniel delivers again.
Oh no, did they go back from that? Oh shit. So it was a bad update.
Seeing a little bit of the Daniel of old now. And this came on the back of Helmut Marko before the race saying, I think we need to revert back to it being a junior team with young drivers.
I'm worried about one thing, that I'm...
And then if the Daniel Ricciardo will not be in Visa Cash Up or the Formula 1 team, maybe he can join Stake F1 team Kick Sauber and be part of the Audi stuff if Carlos Sainz goes to Williams.
I don't know, I'm shy to say it, really, because worries me so much, and I really hope it's not the case. So I'm worried that Ricciardo lost a bit of speed in comparison of his prime, his better moment in his career. But I know for sure that this man knows how to race. This man knows how to battle, to overtake, to defend, and he's a hell of a driver. So I hope he's keep pushing. He's trying to find this feeling that he lost some years ago, and is going to maintain his place in Formula 1 because he's a so great charter. And
but
I don't think there is so many drivers outside Formula 1 and in the field of Formula 1 that they are better than him. Now tell me please the standings between him and Tsunoda this year, because many times Tsunoda beat him on result this year. And if you want to stay in Formula 1, in Red Bull, most of it, you have to be able to beat the teammates. And Tsunoda surprised me. But no, I'm a fan of Ricciardo, and there's no way for me as to stay.
Well, it's eight points, just to answer your question. Yuki has 8 more points than Daniel.
Because he's being more consistent. The thing with Daniel is that sometimes he shines.
But that was early on. I think my point was that he's finding that consistency now, right?
Yeah, but he has a very good race, and then he has a not very good race. So with Ricciardo, I think we have to wait for a little bit, because since he came back, remember in Mexico City, he went really well, and everybody said, oh, the Ricciardo of old is back, and then he wasn't back, and then he was back, wasn't back. So let's wait a little bit, I think.
That's a fair point. And just to close up on the Ricciardo thing, is that his manager was telling me yesterday that Daniel, has not been given the hurry up by anyone at Red Bull. So that was the response to the comments from Helmut Marko. No, nothing has been said to Daniel, but he doesn't need the hurry up.
Nothing is said to him, no, but everything is said to around him, apparently.
When he's driving like that. One team that has struggled, Aston Martin, they surprised me with just how much they struggled here. You know, Alonso qualifying 15th, Stroll back in 17th. I thought the 3 DRS zones here might help them. They're not good through high-speed corners, so I don't think we should expect too much from them at Silverstone.
I think they were a bit draggy.
I mean, if we can believe Lando Norris, Fernando Alonso, then they will be bad in Silverstone. So, hey, more points for probably other teams. Hopefully not Haas.
This weekend, maybe a bit the setup and a bit the car that is
8
not
more minutes.
really responding well to everything they put on the car. And I spoke with Fernando in Spain, and he was really like, we are not getting better, we're not getting anywhere. We need to speak less and do more. And well, it didn't. The wake-up call didn't work for the next race.
Yeah, in the last few races also, is missing Alonso. I mean, probably we get used too well last year, but we were having every time Alonso racing in the top 5 position, most of the time on podium in the first half of the season. Did you remember? Racing in a so high level, championship level, with a speed that was out of the world for a driver of 42 years old. But now in the last few races, it's not making any difference on the Stroll, to be honest. And today, at that mistake, he missed the brake at that corner. It crashed Joe. Yeah, the Joe jump a bit. I don't know. I think that is in a disappointing moment, Alonso. It's for this reason that he's not performing so well. So he was dreaming to have the same or similar season than last year. So fighting on top, being the champions and the dog that we know him, more or less. It's like Verstappen style in the racing style. Be aggressive, be hungry, be fantastic in the race battle. But then he realized that the car was average, and he lost it. You know, he was dreaming about something, and then at 43, 42 years old, he realized that I'm only fighting for 11th, and he lost a bit the instinct. That is my feeling.
Yeah, he was outqualified by Stroll, I think 6 times, if we count sprint qualifyings and actual qualifyings. That's not something we would see from Fernando.
Quiet now. It's amazing. Man, it took a long time to get that second trident. Oh wait. We should go and place it here. Trident. Yeah, continue.
So he was always very proud to say, oh, I beating my teammate. He always knew the score. So I bet if we ask him the score right now, he's gonna come up with another answer.
Yeah, probably the car has to step up. I mean, they lost performance. That is clear. In the last few races last year, Alonso was not in the top 3 anymore. But every time he was solid in the point, and then Stroll was able to finish in the point. This year, when they get points, is a party. I mean, the level changed a lot. That is clear.
Yeah, a lot have changed.
So the top 10 looked like this. George Russell took his second Grand Prix victory ahead of Oscar Piastri
in a Mercedes, while Lewis Hamilton has still not won a race since 2021 Saudi Arabia. So, yeah, what's Lewis Hamilton doing?
And Carlos Sainz. In 4th place was Lewis Hamilton, with Max Verstappen coming home 5th after his crash with Norris and subsequent 10-second penalty. In 6th was Nico Hülkenberg, with Perez 7th, and the second Haas of Kevin Magnussen in 8th. Danny Ricciardo was 9th for VCARB, and Pierre Gasly rounded out the top 10 for Alpine. In the Drivers' Championship, Max Verstappen increased his lead over Lando Norris to 81 points, with Leclerc 6 points further back in 3rd. Sainz is 4th, 17 ahead of Perez in 5th, with Piastri only 6 points further back in 6th. Today's race winner, George Russell, is 7th, 26 points ahead of his teammate Lewis Hamilton in 8th. Alonso is 9th, and Yuki Tsunoda stays 10th. In the Constructors' Championship, the battle at the top is hotting up. Red Bull still leads, but the gap to Ferrari in 2nd is down to 64 points, and McLaren in 3rd have closed the gap to Ferrari to just 23 points. Mercedes are 4th, 138 points ahead of Aston Martin in 5th, who have VCARB just 28 points behind them. Haas's double points finish here have jumped them up to 7th on 19 points, Alpine are 8th on 9 points, Williams are 9th on 2, and Sauber have yet to score.
And they will probably never score
Guys,
this
it's been
season.
A wonderful debrief. Thank you very much for your time. Can I just end by getting your driver of the day? Lando Norris got it on the telly. Who's going to start? Who was your driver of the day, Davide?
The underrated George Russell. Yeah, no, George
the
Russell.
Not so underrated George Russell.
I hope so. That is my feeling in the paddock, but I hope it's going to change soon. George
Hopefully
Russell,
not.
Best driver of the day. No mistake at all.
If we don't talk about being better than Lewis Hamilton, then I can say yeah, 100% George Russell is that. Lewis Hamilton is washed. Time to George Russell to take the seat.
Incredible solid race, and Sainz also one of the best.
Not only today, but for the whole weekend, a very solid weekend. And another driver I'd like to point out is Piastri. So Piastri is starting there on 7th position, and he finished the race with 1.9 behind Russell. So he did everything he could. He had this tiny mistake in qualifying. You cannot even call it a mistake because he had this
in the race.
lap deleted for track limits for nothing, and that's why he wasn't there in 3rd position. Probably it would have been his win because he would have been there. He's been there all weekend, completely different from last weekend in Spain. He was lost in Spain, but he came back really strong and 2nd place. So you'll be between George and Oscar.
No, I want a name. I need one name from you. We've had George from him.
I'll go for Oscar.
You're going for Oscar.
You, Tom?
Before today's race, I would have said Max Verstappen. I think he was utterly brilliant in qualifying. One of the best qualifying laps I have ever seen. And he was inch perfect in the sprint. And I was just, does this guy ever make a mistake? And then came the Austrian Grand Prix. But we're talking about the Austrian Grand Prix, and I'm afraid I cannot say it's Max on this occasion. I agree with both of you about George and Oscar. I think they've been phenomenal, but I'm going to serve up a different name, and I'm actually going to say Nico Hülkenberg.
I knew it.
Why did you know that? Because I think he's phenomenal. I think he was great in qualifying, putting that car P9 on the grid. He is a one-lap special.
And he will be part with the Audi. He will make them great again. Or make Sauber great again by helping Audi to make them great again.
But he's also proving that when the car is there, he can do it over 71 laps as well. And this was as good a Hulk as I've ever seen.
I agree with you. Outstanding performance. And probably, Tom, is the reason why people like Audi, they are experts like you, and they just
True.
Yeah, because he's not losing performance through a year, he's getting better with experience, and he still maintain his speed. So well done for him, well done for Audi.
Andreas Seidel, the boss of Sauber Audi, is calling it Project Podium, is what he calls Hülkenberg going to his team.
Yeah, it's, how do you call when it's not
Hopefully
fair?
it will happen.
If there is a story that is not very fair in this sport in Formula 1, is that a driver like Hülkenberg has not scored in his entire career a podium in Formula 1. It's not fair. How do you call it? It's unfair. I mean, it's not. There's not a sportive justice. Has to score one. I don't know why he hadn't in his career. Maybe he lost some chances, okay, but he's incredibly strong. How is possible that he had 0 podium? A type of driver like this has a minimum as Gasly, 1 victory. Ocon, 1 victory. I mean, it's the type of driver has to do it. It's a shame.
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry for it.
If it's any consolation, Nico, you're my driver of the day.
That's a podium.
All right, well, look, guys, thank you very
No,
much for your
it's
time. Davide, thank
don't
you.
lie.
It's been a pleasure. I hope that your guests can understand me.
Of course they can. Look, man, thank you so much. And
I
thanks to
have
Natalie as well, who's
understood what
probably
you
at
was talking
37,000 feet while we're chatting. On her way back to England, of course, it is the British Grand Prix next weekend. We will be there to give you all the lowdown on that next Monday. But for now, thank you very much for listening. F1 Nation is produced by Formula One and Audio Boom Studios.
Oh my god. Oh, I hate fucking... When you click on what you don't want to click on. Okay, that's over. Okay, nice. Let the fish be sacrificed to the fish gods. Then we can go. Will we get any last fish for the collection before we end it? Who knows? Any more? No, it doesn't look like that. No, I want to be... Oh, we can go sleep. Bum, bum, bum. How many do we have? 1866. 1866. Yep, 1866. And that's done. Yeah, and let's see, we go. Yeah, hopefully beginner-ish, and let's see if we... Yeah, didn't beginners have a good in Formula 3. And hopefully the last race will be a fight between the Browning, Fornaroli and beginnerish. Then we have Formula 2. And Colapinto will be driving in the Williams car, and Oliver Behrman will be driving in the Haas car. So I want more good times with Colapinto in the race. Hopefully Bortoletto will continue winning races. Now when he finally won his first race in Austria. So he probably fight between Hadjar, Aaron and Bortoletto. And then we have well, we will still be here tomorrow. So in 14 hours and 48 minutes the practice one will start. And yeah, also IndyCar will happen. Let's see. So yeah, that will also happen. But the most important thing is Formula 1. But yeah, until after practice we will be back. And hopefully Mercedes will not be good. But that we only know